Josh. Thanks for tuning in. This is season 4, episode 7, and today we're going to talk about why run and some other topics as well. This was the last week before the marathon, which I ended up running 20 miles. Also wanted to just put a disclaimer in here, if you definitely want to speak to a physician or family doctor concerning any heart issues that you're having before running a marathon. Okay, so I guess why run? So there's lots of reasons to run. It teaches you discipline. Especially if you write down a schedule. You want to keep to the schedule and definitely accomplish it. And obviously, there's all kinds of distractions can get in the way because life happens. But you have to make it a priority, and you definitely want to get in your long runs. And if something happens during the week and you can't make that long run on the day that you planned, you definitely want to switch it to a different day and get it in within that week, right? Also, it teaches you routine. You could actually get into a routine by training for a marathon. And then, it teaches you some healthy habits. I think you definitely start feeling what goes on in your body when you're running, especially long distances. You're gonna be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be eating this food. I'm not feeling too good on these runs. And if you can switch to different types of food as you run, and you can feel the benefits that happen to you when you run, you're like, oh wait, no, I'm feeling really good when I eat this stuff. Okay, then this must be pretty good for me. Then you definitely learn to eat healthy, because you can definitely feel the impact a little bit more. Also, I feel like it gives you some education, as if you're running and you got your headphones in, right? You can always download a good audiobook that can enhance your life, or listen to a great podcast that can give you information on subjects that matter to you. So there's definitely great things about running. Also, the cool thing about running is you can do it if you're 8 years old or if you're 80 years old. There's no age limit to running. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I would say. So today I did 20 miles, and but I did a banana before I left, and I had the Vigo one all in one. So it's kind of like a protein shake that has lots of vitamins in it, and then it has 20 grams of protein. And that seems to really help me out. No, last run wasn't too good, but this one, it started out great. One would think that if you get Kajava, the 310, or the Shakeology, all those protein shakes, they're like all in ones, would kind of be relatively the same, but I can't say from experience because I've never tried all 4 of them. I used to drink Shakeology way back in the day, but yeah, they're definitely some really good protein shakes. It is kind of strange that these protein shakes would be considered processed food, right? So it's like, well, if you're trying to eat whole food, should you have these protein shakes. But with training, with running, I feel like, yeah, the processed food, these protein shakes are definitely seem to be beneficial, at least for running, um, over eating the whole foods. So just in my experiment with my body. And I'm sure the banana helped as well, with the potassium that it has. So yeah, I would say any four of those shakes should very be beneficial for you if you're starting out the race. And if you're lucky enough to have the shake again, like in the middle of the race, that would be that would probably help a lot. But I haven't done that yet. So, but I'm sure that it would be beneficial. Something that I screwed up today was I forgot my salt packet or electrolytes, which I really felt it in miles 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, it was not pleasant for sure. Because I only had water to drink, right? And then I brought the nuts with me. And this week I've been working on coconut. I got the coconut oil, coconut cream, coconut milk, and then just coconut. And I've been switching it throughout the diet. I mean, I don't feel that coconuts changed my life or anything. It doesn't seem to be affecting me in my running that much. I don't eat a lot of coconut. If I'm putting it in my meals, it's just like a teaspoon or something, because it has a lot of saturated fat. So yeah, I try not to overdo it with the coconut for sure, but it does have a nice sweet taste to it, and it's supposed to help with digestion. So yeah, I put it in my food program, I would say, for this week. But I guess the biggest effect of my running would be taking one of these protein all-in-one shakes. It's just clear. It is clear from night to day that they seem to have a big effect, at least with me, for running. So yeah, and yeah, you don't want to forget your salt packet for sure, or electrolytes, right? That will really drain you just drinking the water. But on a great note that is coming up is race day. So I think all the runners can look forward to race day. If you don't wear one of those water packs, I know I don't. I just kind of stop at the water fountains, um, at the restrooms in a park, or in a gas station on the run that I do. So I don't have one of those vests. I mean, I do, but I don't use it. And anyways, the cool thing about race day is that there's aid stations, and unlike ultras, um, there's a lot of aid stations usually there's a lot of aid stations with a marathon. Um, Usually they're like 2 miles apart or 3 miles apart for each aid station, and on top of that, there's lots of porta potties where you can use the restroom. As sometimes when you're running in the parks or you're running for long distances, there's not always a bathroom, which kind of sucks as a runner, as you might already know in your training. So definitely, you kind of look forward to that day where you get drinks and food every 2 miles or 3 miles. That's pretty convenient for sure. I mean, there's definitely different strategies, and on the day, everybody, is racing their own race. Some people are finishing the marathon in 2 hours, right? While some people are finishing the marathon in 5 hours. And those two different times are two different races that these people are racing. So you have to feel different. You have to drink differently. So definitely know that as you did the training, you should know, what your finish time should be, right? And I guess it is okay to, if you in your training have figured out the best foods to eat and all that. You could take the food that you're used to eating on the marathon with you. If the marathon, if you looked in the marathon pamphlet and it says that it's not having the food that you're used to, then yeah, you could take some food with you for sure. Or the drink that you've been drinking, if they don't have that, then you definitely don't want to try something new that you're not used to, because it could cramp you up. If you haven't tried the salt packets that they offer you, or the fuel that they offer you, I wouldn't take it. So it's definitely a fine line with that stuff, but I would try to focus on eating what you've already eaten in training, so your body can react in the way that you know it's going to react, and not give you cramps or something bad could happen. So yeah, the gear, usually 1 week away from your running, you should know what to wear, because you've been training a week before, so usually the weather won't change that much. So hopefully the weather is going to be the same as your last week, so you'll know what to wear, whether you need a hat and gloves and a jacket, or whether it's going to be hot and you just need to drink extra liquids. You'll know what to do, right? And then mentally, mental awareness to the marathon is very important. Obviously, you want to meditate you finishing the race, crossing the finish line. But in some previous episodes, I did talk about mentally in the middle of the race, how you're gonna sometimes mile 15 or mile 20 or mile 22, your brain is probably telling you to stop running. It doesn't matter, you don't need to finish this race. Go ahead, start walking. Your legs hurt, and so it's just a lot of mind games. Sometimes you feel really bad, and it's like, negative thoughts can start to creep in, and tries to get you to stop. So you got to be mentally strong, and that can occur in the middle of the race. So try to just think positive and just keep your head up and just keep saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cross the finish line. And the cool thing about running, which you probably already know from training so far, is that you're going to feel different at mile 8, mile 12, mile 20, mile 23, and you'll feel different no matter what mile it is. So you could feel really, really bad at mile, let's say 14, and then you get a second win at mile 18 and you're feeling incredible. So just stick with it and keep going. And I know you guys can finish for sure. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. That's kind of all I have to say for this episode. And hopefully you've learned a little bit by listening to this podcast. I have one more episode after the race. We'll see what I screwed up on and what we can learn from, and hopefully it can help you avoid some stuff when you do a marathon. So I appreciate you guys listening, and I'm glad you guys have chosen to run a marathon. That's pretty incredible. Okay, thank you.